Welcome to another YouTube video. Today I'm going to be talking about how I lost body fat without tracking a single calorie. I work with so many over 30s that live incredibly busy lives and have so much on their plate, and at times in their journey, tracking calories, which we all believe is the thing that we have to do to see, fat loss progress, to see the scale go down, it can be a big mental burden. And don't get me wrong, tracking is a very useful tool that we can use to, see fat loss and, make sure that we're in the right place, and it brings awareness and it helps us to kind of be more measured. But also we have to understand there are so many ways to skin a cat, and we don't need to track calories to lose body fat, especially as an over 30, like when life is busy. And if you think about long term, you want to get to a great place with your body, you want to learn how to sustain it. We're not going to track calories forever, so it should be used as a short-term tool. But I also have clients that, it's just for where they're at in life, what they're going through and how busy they are. Tracking calories is just inconvenient. So this is where we can follow some frameworks that are going to help you to drop body fat without even tracking a calorie. How exciting is that prospect? So let's get straight in. And I've broken this down into two sections. So we've got nutrition, arguably the most important one, and then we'll move on to kind of exercise and movement and lifestyle. So let's come over here and let's talk about nutrition. And one of the things that you need to do, okay, to see fat loss as an absolute necessity, we have to start our day with 20 to 40 grams of protein, okay? And as you can see, my writing is terrible, and obviously I'm not left-handed, otherwise it'd be a lot easier. You probably can't even see what that says, but we need to start with 20 to 40 grams of protein for breakfast. This is absolutely essential because it's going to kickstart your day on the front foot with a significant amount of protein, which is going to keep you full and content. So we're not needing to snack, our energy is managed, and we're just going to be really full. And that's super important. And also, when we eat protein, our body actually burns more calories. So we're kickstarting our kind of fat burning, capabilities at the start of our day. And this is where so many adults go wrong, because, they think, oh, I need to starve myself and, I need to cut my calories. So, I'm going to have a small breakfast or I'm going to miss it. But the reality is, you're just putting your body under stress. And by giving it a good amount of protein at the start of the day, you're going to help your fullness, your energy, and just everything else. So really important. And kind of following on from that, what's essential is that once we get that high protein breakfast nailed, so we're having 20 to 40 grams of protein, then we can look at doing the same again, but for lunch. Then we can look at doing the same again for dinner, okay? And I'm going to talk about an afternoon snack in a minute, but if we can follow that principle of getting 20 to 40 grams of protein every 3 to 4 hours, okay, or every meal that we eat, we're going to maximize our body's ability to lose body fat. So that is the first and the most important thing that we need to do. So if we're having 20 to 40 grams of protein, let's just say 30, it's the middle number. If you have 30 grams of protein for breakfast, 30 grams of protein for lunch, and 30 grams of protein for dinner, we're in a really good place. We're building our protein levels up, which are really going to support you on your fat loss journey. So that's the first thing as an absolute priority. And, without tracking calories, you can start to gauge kind of how much protein is in things. And obviously if you've tracked before, which I'm sure you have, you'll know the types of foods that are higher in protein and roughly how much, a chicken breast might be 30 grams of protein as an example. So, but yeah, that is the main thing. And what you can do if you're unsure of what that looks like, typically 1 to 2 fistfuls of protein is going to be enough. So when you're looking at your plate and you're, say, putting chicken on your plate, if you measure a fistful, then that's relative. So if we say a fistful is around 20 grams of protein, so you can have 1 to 2 fistfuls of protein on your plate. So that's a really simple way of doing it. Now the second thing, and again, this is absolutely essential, is we're going to have one fruit and 2 veg with, I won't even bother writing it. I mean, I'm like a school kid. Anyway, who cares? So the second thing is we want to have 1 fruit with every single meal. We undereat fruit significantly, and fruit is packed with minerals, vitamins, but also fiber, and it's incredibly low in calories, but high in volume. So it helps to fill you up, which is essential for fat loss, making sure that we're, fueling our weight loss, fueling our body and feeling good. So if we have 1 piece of fruit with every meal, it's such a simple habit to start bulking up your meals, eating more volume, getting your body more nutrients to help you lose body fat. So for breakfast, if you're having eggs on toast, have an apple on the side. For lunch, if you're having a chicken salad, have a pear on the side. For dinner, if you're having spaghetti bolognese, have a banana after, okay, or have a clementine, have some strawberries. So just really trying to get one piece of fruit with every single meal is going to be essential. And then also 2 vegetables. Now, a great rule of thumb, if we can have 200 gram of cooked weight, vegetables for our lunch and dinner, we're going to be great. Like, especially green veg, like the cruciferous family, so broccoli, sprouts, kale, spinach, cabbage, pak choi, cauliflower, carrots, all of the, obviously that's not green, but all of these good things are fantastic, because that's just going to volumize your meal. Like if you're having spaghetti bolognese for dinner and you added 200 grams of cooked broccoli on the side, the volume is going to be like the size of my hand. You're going to be eating extra food, but it's going to be like 40 calories. But it's got protein, it's got fiber, it's all going to help fill you up and help to fuel weight loss. So you've got energy to train, to move, to sleep, all things that contribute. So 1 piece of fruit with every meal. Obviously, because you're not weighing 200 grams of cooked veg, might be hard for you to understand. So what we can do typically, and this works well, is half of your plate veg. Okay, if you obviously you might not have veg for breakfast if you're having porridge or whatever, but for lunch and dinner, half your plate vegetable. Okay, and if we can, at least 2 servings of veg, just so we've got a bit of variety. But the more colour, the better, especially this time of year. You know, have a salad, lettuce, tomato, cucumber, but then let's add beetroot, let's add gherkins, let's add peppers, let's add grated carrot, or let's have, like a pasta salad where we can actually have cooked broccoli or raw broccoli in there, and, just start to build in more veg into your main meals, and you'll feel so much more full, so much more satisfied, and it's going to help with fat loss. Now, the third thing that I want you to focus on, and again, this is something that a lot of people neglect, but I want you to have an afternoon snack, okay? And this wants to follow the same principle as the first thing that I said, around 20 to 40 grams of protein. Because what typically happens, adults will have breakfast, so they'll have breakfast at 9 o'clock, let's say, they'll have lunch at 12 or 1, and then they'll have the dinner at like 7 or 8 once they've, sorted the kids out and like finished up work. The gap between lunch and dinner is significant. 6 or 7 hours of no food is just not going to do you any good when your goal is fat loss, okay? So having an afternoon snack that's protein dominant, that's 20 to 40 grams of protein in between lunch and dinner, so call it, 3, 4 o'clock, is a great way of managing that energy slump that we get around 3 o'clock as our hormone levels shift, because our body starts to wind down for sleep. And it's going to help you crave any appetite if you're, in the office, there's biscuits, like, last few hours of work. If we have a high protein dominant afternoon snack, keeps your energy levels up, but also what it does, it means that we're eating every 3 to 4 hours. And eating every 3 to 4 hours will increase muscle protein synthesis, which in simple terms is, the process that we need to be happening for weight loss, for retaining muscle tissue, just for being a healthy, well-performing adult. So adding that afternoon snack in is great. This could be so simple and convenient. It could be a meal, but it also could be, a high protein yogurt and fruit. It could be a protein shake and fruit. Just simple things, just like a snack that's going to fill you up, satisfy you, and really help from a weight loss standpoint. So they're the 3 things. And then the final thing that I want you to do without tracking calories to lose body fat is follow principle-based nutrition. So this is the protocol that I get all of my clients to use when they go out for a meal. It's a way that you can enjoy the meal, you don't have to track it, but you know that you're eating in line with your fat loss goal to the best of your ability. So what you want to do is choose the most protein dominant option on the meal. Wherever you go, there's always a high protein option. Chicken, steak, fish, it's just identifying what that is. Now, once you've chosen that meal, you want to eat the food in this specific order, because it's going to help you to extract all the benefits from the meal. It's going to fill you up quicker, and it means that we're eating in line with our fat loss goal to the best of our ability. So let's say we choose, steak, chips, and veg, right? When you get that meal, I want you to eat the protein first, because that's the most filling part of the meal. So you eat your steak, it's going to fill you up loads. Then you're going to move on to the veg, okay? Because again, it's got fiber, it's all the good nutritious benefits that we want from it, and it's going to help to fill you up. So you eat the steak, you eat the veg, and then when you get to your chips, enjoy them, eat them, but just leave a little portion behind. And in doing this, by the time you get to the chips, which are normally the thing that's higher in calorie, you enjoy them, but you're fuller quicker because you've eaten the protein in the veg first. And then you leave a little portion behind, meaning that we're calorie controlling that meal to the best of our ability. But you've still gone out, you've had steak and chips, you've had a Diet Coke, life's all good. So if you follow that, and that works as well if you're going to a friend's house who's cooking food, families, like, you know, plate up your own food, focus on, you know, 1 to 2 fistfuls of protein, half your plate with veg, and the rest of the plate carbohydrates, and then just leave a small portion behind. Simple as that. So it's a really simple way, but them 4 things, if you follow them 4 tips, so 20 to 40 grams of protein for every single time that we eat, specifically like starting your day with a breakfast, which is a big one, a piece of fruit with every meal, and 2 servings of veg, or half your plate, a high protein afternoon snack around 3 or 4 o'clock to keep the energy levels up, to keep hunger at bay, and just manage your blood sugar levels, and again, help with muscle protein synthesis. And then if we follow principle-based nutrition, when we're out, we are on to a winner. We're losing fat. We haven't even tracked a single calorie. Then what we're going to do is move on to exercise and movement. Now, this will be no surprise to you, but if you want to see fat loss without tracking calories, we want to be hitting 10 to 15K steps. Now, 10K steps a day gets thrown around a lot. And for busy adults, even 8,000 is quite a lot of steps as a busy adult. So I don't want you to see 10 to 15K steps and go, oh, here we go again. Like, you know, the reality is daily movement. If you think about the time that you're awake in a day, if you wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, let's say, but probably going to be more like 6 a.m. and then you go into bed at 8 p.m, let's say. So you wake up at 6, you go to bed at 10, okay? That's like 16 hours or whatever that you're awake. So our daily movement can significantly contribute to more energy burn. And actually, if we look at an exercise, so let's say you do 40 minutes at the gym, that contributes to 5% of total energy burn each day, whereas daily movement contributes to 15%, 3 times as much as exercise. That's why movement is so key. And how I want you to make this happen is 2 options. You can either get up earlier, get up 30 minutes earlier, especially with the light, you know, make the most of it. It's easier to get up 30 minutes early and just go for a walk. You'll get 5,000 steps in before the day's even begun. Now, if that doesn't work for you with childcare, you're already up early, etc., which is fine, do it before bed. Like every single evening, even if I feel a bit tired and fatigued from the day, once my 2 girls are down at 7:30, have dinner, and then we just chill and watch TV. But I could easily, if I really wanted to, and I was driven by my fat loss goal, which at the moment I'm not specifically, but obviously I have been many times, and like clients that are chasing it, go for an hour walk. Like go for a 30 to 60 minute walk, you know, before you go to bed. And especially with it being lighter and things, just like make the most of it, because also when it comes to winter, it becomes a lot kind of harder to do. So super important to lean into that, and it will massively, just significantly help you. So that is the next thing, around 10 to 15K steps, absolutely essential. And the second thing is get rid of HIIT training, okay? One of the biggest mistakes over 30s make when they're trying to lose fat, especially over summer, they start doing all these crazy HIIT workouts and like just burning as many calories as you can. That is a disaster for fat loss, because it just creates more stress on your body. So it messes up your blood sugar levels, messes up your hunger hormones, and you're just ravenous, and you end up eating way more than you should be just because you're doing this crazy exercise that's just putting you in a hole for 2 days. Like, you don't need to do that. What you want to do is you want to do 3 full body workouts, okay, at the gym. And, you know, at the gym or at home, it doesn't matter, but essentially weight training. Weight training is so beneficial for fat loss. It makes your body more receptive to the food that you're eating. It helps you to build and maintain muscle tissue, which we need for fat loss. The benefits are endless, and especially as we get older, it offsets that aging process as well. So doing full body strength training is really going to help your body to change shape alongside, you know, the nutrition side of things as well. So that's what we want to opt for instead of like crazy HIIT training. We don't need to do that. You don't need to be doing all these crazy workouts, putting yourself in the bin, burning crazy amounts of calories to lose body fat. What you need to do is just do strength work, okay? Whether it be 2 full body workouts a week, 3, whether it be at the gym, whether it be at home, there is so much that you can do. And ensuring that we're showing up, we're progressively overloading because we've got a structured plan to follow is really, really important. So yeah, that is the next thing that I would say regarding that. Another thing that is overlooked is stand as much as possible. Okay, stand as pos, there you go. When we think about energy burn, if we're awake for 16 hours, when I'm sat down, I'm burning a certain amount of calories. If I stand up, I'm burning a little bit more. And if I walk, I burn even more. If I lie down, my body burns less. So this whole thing around like hitting a step goal, yeah, I agree, really important, but also how active are you being? You know, can we take a call whilst we're walking around the house? Can we, walk at every opportunity? Yes, but can we just stand more? Can we go get a drink every hour and just just move more? The more that your body moves and the more kind of strain you put on that in that sense, the more energy you're going to burn, and it's going to contribute to weight loss. So them people that are just so active because they're just on it all day, and the weight will fly off. So that's really important, really, really important. And again, you can see so much progress by just making a conscious effort to stand more. And even little things like, on a weekend or whatever, like run errands, go to the food shop, mow your lawn, do the washing, like just the more that you can keep your body moving. Obviously you need periods of rest and sit down and chill and all that. Yeah, that's fine. But generally be an active person. It's gonna, significantly help. And the final thing that I'm going to talk about, and this is not really exercise and movement, it's kind of like lifestyle, but it's sleep. Okay, sleep deprived individuals have a tendency to overeat of like 40+%. Okay, because when you're sleep deprived, you're irritable, your body's under stress, it just craves sugar, and it's just a bad place to be. You'll know what it's like when you've had a bad sleep and you're just groggy, you're hungry, you're tired, you're moody. That will do you no good for fat loss. It'll just elevate your stress levels. It'll make everything, the nutrition part, the training, your energy levels, it just makes everything worse. So prioritizing sleep is key. I would always suggest, like for me, 7 hours is the sweet spot. So if you get into bed and you've given yourself an 8-hour window, even if like you're up a little bit or you don't fall asleep straight away, you're going to get around that 7 hours. But if I get anywhere between 6 to 8, I'm in a good place. Any less than 6 and I really feel it. So just prioritize sleep, get your body feeling relaxed, especially when you're doing a lot more movement and walking and things like that. You should be tired and want to get into bed and crash and not just stay up till 11 watching TV. So gonna end it there. Hopefully that was helpful. If anyone hasn't listened to this full video and you've just like flicked through to try and see what the tips were, you probably can't even read them. I do apologize, but yeah, we don't let perfect be the enemy of good. So hopefully that was helpful. Any questions, let me know. And hope that was enjoyable, informative, and you can use it to see fat loss without tracking calories moving forward.